Alright, what's up, guys? The question today is, what is a dollar? Yup, dollar. Not money. What is a dollar? And how many are there? Now you can Google, I just Googled a little bit ago, you can Google United States dollar in circulation. This has about 3.3 trillion US dollars in circulation. Now that's paper money. It's physical money in circulation. Now, money is also debt. So if I borrow $300,000 for my home, I didn't have that $300,000. I borrowed it. I said I'd pay it back over 30 years with an interest rate of X. So that's not real money. That's pulling from the future. So what happened during COVID, when all the lowest rates in history, zero basically, negative in real terms. That's with inflation. We were below. We had negative interest rates. You were getting a 2.5% interest loan with 8% inflation. So, what is the dollar and how many are there? Like I said, in circulation we had, what was it that I said, 3.2? 3.3? I think it was like 3.33 on a Google search. Now go pull up the US debt clock. The United States is $33 trillion in debt. Well, that's interesting. Scroll to the bottom and go a little bit to the right. Unfunded liabilities. Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security. You know, you hear, oh, when I get older, coming from a millennial, when I get older, there won't be Social Security. And you just parrot it, right? And you parrot it because you feel the economy, and we've like a very woe is me, right? Like, of course we're not going to get it. Why? Why aren't we going to get it? By the time we get old enough, they're going to run out. Like, what do you mean they're going to run out? Well, if you look at that, I believe it's been a while since I looked it up, $150 trillion of unfunded U.S. liabilities. 150 trillion. Now, another interesting thing you can do is you can go Google, if I spend $1 every second, how long will it take me to get to $1 trillion? That's $1, $2, $3, $4. It takes me, 45 minutes to get to work, times 60, 612. What is that, 24,000 or something? It's a lot of dollars. And we're 150 trillion of unfunded liabilities. Now that's interesting. So now we're looking at the Maui fires and how much we're giving to them, but we're also paying pensions to Ukraine. And it makes you wonder, if we have $50 billion to send over to pay for their pension, what are we really bolstering? What are we holding up? What is it? The former, the world order, the current world order, going into the new world order? Are we the fight against Russia and sending all the money over to Ukraine, it's not about democracy. Not at all. Not at all. We're trying to keep the regime together. We're trying to, because Russia sees the writing on the wall. I always wonder, okay, so that's US dollars. How many Chinese yuan are there? Is it Chinese yuan? RMB, or the peso, or the Thailand, the baht. How much money? Again, dollars. Sorry, not money. Dollars. How many dollars are there? How much fiat is there? How much paper bull crap is there? How much is there? There's a lot. And to the extent that it's not real. You can't in one hand tell somebody to save up a certain amount of money for the rest of their life and they'll retire, or in countries, okay, so we'll stick to this, and you'll retire and you'll be fine, when that number is exponentially exploding. And it was that way before we got here. You can go back to 2008, go back to the 90s, go back to the 70s when we came off the gold standard. Well, when we suspended the convertibility from dollars to gold. This is the slowest moving ship turning around. And the crazy thing is, it's kind of like if you were standing on a little bass boat, aluminum boat, and you whip that sucker around, you would feel it. But if you're on a tanker, if you're on a cargo ship in the middle of the ocean, it's turning around, an aircraft carrier, you don't feel it. And next you know, you're going in a different direction. So if Florida is turning around, or we'll go down. Florida's far enough. You could go down to your city or whatever. Okay, LA, turning around, it's violent, right? It's that bass boat whipping around. You feel it, and LA's a big city. You feel the turnaround. Well, what about all of California? A little slower, right? You're feeling a turn, but you don't quite feel a turn. That's why politics ends up, or grassroots stuff like that. That's why it starts at the bottom, because that's where it's felt most. But then it takes forever for the country to turn around, because you got to go to the macro. Now, what about the world? How long does it take for the world to see a change like that? This is the first time the world has not had some type of fiat pegged to the gold standard. There's another thing you can go look up. Dollars or world reserve currencies. We've always had a peg to gold. There's always been, we're not pegged to gold. We're not pegged, and that's what's scary. A lot of Bitcoiners are like, oh, it's all about Bitcoin, and we're going to go to a Bitcoin standard. Won't find an argument for me. But my fear, it's like, if you don't go to the Bitcoin standard, they always say gold, but the same thing has happened to gold. There's more paper gold than there is physical gold. Silver, same thing. We've spoiled. The milk's spoiled. You're not going to drink. It's done. And my fear is, if you don't go to something like a Bitcoin standard, any standard, but I think it could be a Bitcoin standard. I don't know. I don't know what's next. But if you don't have any standard, you're run by the people that control that have the most at risk or the most at play when it comes to the demise, the inevitable demise of the US dollar. So, the long play for Bitcoin is the savior. And if it doesn't work, to me, that's a very scary thought. So, we will see. Support your businesses that are businesses, countries, what nations, whatever. Be aware. Because if you don't alert everyone else, nobody will. If you just stand by idly while Europe hangs up cameras, just like in China, they roll out the central bank digital currencies and you drive by with a gas car and you get fined. If you let these control mechanisms take their course, it tends to be just like in politics. You let it go. If you let it go until it finally bothers you, or until it impacts you, it tends to be too late. But back to the main idea. What is a dollar? And how many are there? The current dollar is worth less than a square of toilet paper. A dollar means nothing. It has no value. It can be manipulated. It can be shut off. It can be siphoned. All for the better of your good. But at least with one square piece of toilet paper in your house, you can wipe your ass with it. And I bet it'll be softer than that $100 bill that no longer will be accepted. Until next time.